Hi, everybody, and thank you for listening. I'm going to present to you the Amsterdam pilot and all the activities we've been doing in the past 2.5 years. My name is Isabel Berentzen and I work at Waag. Waag is one of the pilot partners in the Amsterdam pilot, together with the municipality of Amsterdam, BMA Techne, and Pakhuis Zwijger. So how did we start it? In Amsterdam, we started by looking at the material stream. And what you see here behind me is a huge infographic made by the help of Metabolic. And it shows you all the resources that flow into the city on the left, necessary to produce the amount of textiles we consume. And on the right is the part that flows out of the city. And in green, you see the part that is recycled, that is brought back into the loop. And the red part, unfortunately, the biggest part, is the part that isn't, and most likely due to improper discarding of textiles. We talk about 8.8 kilotons of textiles on a yearly basis, and of which at least 50% could have been recycled. So we needed to understand why this is happening, and through a survey, we found out that most citizens, they don't know how to discard their textiles properly. And they have a certain distrust against the recycling industry. At the same time, we also noticed that we have in Amsterdam many local initiatives supporting circularity, and we also have an advanced textile industry. But all these stakeholders seemed rather disconnected, and there was little collaboration among them. So we started to shape our vision, and the graph behind me shows you how we wish the textile industry would look like. Our objective became threefold. So first of all, we wanted to inform and engage citizens on the true value of textile waste. This will then provide feedstock, more feedstock for the industry that should be better connected. And at last, we should include policymakers to make this change also possible on a long term. So how did we start? We started by producing this booklet, and this booklet explains each chapter of each step of the textile wheel. The booklet it's targeting both citizens as industry, and it gives foundational knowledge on the true value of textile waste, but also how behavior change can add to more circularity. To also include the new generation of change makers, we simplified the textile wheel for teaching purposes. We organized after-school activities such as upcycling workshops and swap parties for kids. And we organized a textile race that gamifies textile collecting by turning it into a race. We did this with 15 primary schools in the city. We also guided master students industrial design in their design projects, where they came up with new dimensions and perspectives for the textile industry. To encourage sustainable behavior, we teamed up with Statspass, and Statspass translates as city pass, and it's a pass for people with a lower income to receive discount on cultural and sport activities. Statspass owners now they can receive 40% discount when they have their clothing repaired at local tailors. This provides, at the one hand, more work for local tailors, and at the other, it encourages sustainable behavior, and it has given up to now already 6,000 garments a longer life. Another way to extend the lifespan of items is, of course, to learn people how to do it themselves. So we organized several workshops during our physical events, together with Makers Unite, but also because of the pandemic, we organized a series of online workshops where participants learned the craft of visible mending techniques and the world of natural dyes. These are still available, by the way, at the Waag website. As I said, we have in Amsterdam a lot of smaller initiatives that focus on sustainable fashion or circularity. And in order to bring those, specifically the physical stores throughout the city together, and to collectively reach out to a broad audience, we teamed up with Kosh. And Kosh is a platform for sustainable fashion. And together with them, we launched Amsterdam's first conscious shopping route. Then the swap shop. We managed to open swap shop, Amsterdam's first swap shop, where citizens now can bring in their clothing and they can swap it with swap shop's clothing stock. We also implemented a pilot with them, where we used Reflow OS track and trace technology. Users now can upload personal experiences and stories via a QR code that is on the inside label of each item. With this, we want to add a personal storytelling to clothing, but also at the same time, we will also receive insights on the motivations behind swapping. Then, of course, at Pakhuis Reiger, we organized several live casts, 15 in total, and 3 podcasts, and where we invited experts and professionals and policymakers to inform and to inspire and to discuss certain topics on circular textile. These live casts were extremely important to keep the conversation flowing during the pandemic, and they are still available at Pakhuis website. Then, as a way to bring stakeholders together, we organized Monday Laundry Days, and these Monday Laundry Days were roundtable discussions in which we, together with all different types of stakeholders, collectively shaped the preconditions of a vision to help reach Metropolitan Region of Amsterdam its circularity goals for 2025, 2030, and 2050. And these Monday Laundry Day roundtables were then followed up by Amsterdam Economic Board, which is an independent advisory board in Amsterdam. And eventually they set the ground for the 10 local green deals on circular textile. So the first one, the Denim Deal, was the first signed local green deal, which is actually an international deal because it contains international stakeholders across the value chain of denim. It's a blueprint for a better industry, as it aims to produce 3 million denim pieces containing 20% post-consumer waste by the end of 2023. They also work towards a new industry standard for 100% post-consumer cotton textiles. As most textile that is collected in the street containers, that is dirty and wet, and because of that also unusable for further recycling. So part of the Green Deal, better collecting, the municipality decided to focus on, first of all, indoor collecting at public buildings and retailers, such as the swap shop, for example. But they also redesigned and rebranded the street container itself, making it more visible and also better to understand. And thirdly, they also partnered up with 2 new processing partners. First one is Panther, a social enterprise that collects the textile, sorts the textile, while providing feedstock for the local initiatives. Then the second processing partner will then take over the Boer Group, and the Boer Group ensures sustainable cooperation with stakeholders further in the chain. As part of the Green Deal protective clothing for healthcare and circular procurement, we also developed an isolation gown, a circular isolation gown that competes with the disposable ones on both functionality and comfort. The isolation gown can be washed up to 200 times, and the first 2,600 gowns will now be locally produced by Makers Unite. We did this together with Cleanlies, and Cleanlies is a textile service leasing company. Another live campaign was the result of a collaborative campaign among retailers and brands in the city, in the region, actually. Retailers that take part of this campaign will offer upcycling, in-store upcycling services to their customers. The campaign intends to change the perception on how we see our everyday clothing. And it's also there to inspire and spark creativity and will be rolled out from June onwards on. Last slide. So in parallel to all these, the Amsterdam pilot has also been involved in the development of a roadmap on circular textiles. This roadmap will serve as a governance guideline and as such to have a long-lasting effect on the strategic course on circular textile for the metropolitan region of Amsterdam. The roadmap includes a vision, ambition, and concrete goals towards 2050. And is twofold. It will stimulate and encourage circular initiatives within the region, while at the same time it will promote and focus on upscaling recycling. The official handover towards the metropolitan region of Amsterdam will be during our final local event on April 19th at Pakhuis Thank you for listening.